Life on the farm is glorious at this time of year. Everything is fresh and fragrant and blooming, and the birds are singing. But life on the farm, of course, is more than beauty and harmony, as we all know. And the more tricky side of farm life is always just around the corner. Harriet and her 3 little lambs are well and thriving. But Martha, our other dear sheep, died one of these summer mornings. Some people say about sheep that from the moment they are born, sheep seem to try to find a way to die. It can happen so quickly with sheep, for all sorts of reasons, and as a farmer, it is impossible to rule them all out. In Martha's case, we suspect it was a bacterial infection. Martha left 2 puzzled little lambs behind. Good old Harriet did not hesitate a moment to take them under her wing. Martha's lambs were only just 4 weeks old when she died, too young to survive healthily without milk, so I had to get them used to drinking from the bottle. The boy lamb adjusted quite quickly once he realised what was on offer from the bottle. The girl lamb was harder to convince. Luckily, lambs start eating solid food very early on in their lives, so she didn't go completely hungry. Of course, they all, including Harriet, missed Martha, and especially Harriet. Having lost her close friend, as well as being landed with 2 more needy lambs to follow her around, needed some extra cuddles. With the COVID-19 restrictions around our area, it was tricky to get hold of some more seeds, and in the end I had to order them online from abroad. Finally they arrived. Uchiki-kuri pumpkins, great for storing over winter and very tasty. All sorts of seedlings were waiting to be planted out at the beginning of May. Flowers as well as vegetables, but we still had a lot of night frosts. Broad beans and beet are usually very hardy, so I thought it was safe to plant them out for a start. I had marked the names of all my seedlings on lollipop sticks. So much for permanent markers. I couldn't read any names anymore. Luckily, beetroot is easy enough to recognise. In our other videos, we talked about no-dig gardening, and often that brings great results and is very good for the plants and the soil. But sometimes I think digging is the best or even only method to get a good enough seed bed. For example, when there are nettles growing all through the soil, these are very hard to kill by mulching. They just keep on coming up. So the only way really is to dig the top layer of soil and pick them out by hand. I quite like digging. And then we had a few more night frosts. Big damage to the potatoes, but the cabbages and beans seemed to manage. Talking about no-dig and mulching, I thought I'd try Tim's straw mulch method for my onions this year. I planted some under straw and some with no mulch layer. So far so good. Only that something is eating my onions. Did a rabbit get into the garden again, I wonder? He seems to really like the taste of young onions. The garlic is fine, of course, but maybe that's just too strong a taste for a young rabbit. This is the time of year when farmers want to empty out their sheds before the next harvest, so we were able to pick up some round bales of straw at a good price as mulch for next year's garlic crop. As growers, you need to think and plan ahead always. Some of you were wondering about our geese. Yes, they did lay and start sitting on their eggs in late April. Once a day, both geese got up from their nests to join the gander for a meal and have a wash. And a chance for us to have a quick look at the nest nearest the house, which didn't go unnoticed by the goose, of course. Soon enough, it was time for the other goose too to make her way back to her hidden nest amongst the brambles. One of our hens started sitting on a clutch of eggs too, and I transferred her gently into one of our empty rabbit cages to sit on them in a safe, quiet place. Spring is also the time for wild birds to nest and lay and hatch. It's always a pleasure to watch the starlings raise their young under our roof. This year they chose a rather dangerous place to nest, resulting in a baby starling falling out.
Of course he is. No way he is.
He's got more hair than me.
I noticed just in time before the dogs did. This wall is on the list of things to paint, but we will wait until the birds have fledged.
No. No, guys. Not great with height.
Oh, I'll do it if you like.
With the help of a ladder, we were able to pop him back to his brothers and sisters. Always the best approach, because feeding these babies at this point in their lives is a non-stop job, something that is very tricky to accomplish by us humans. So whenever possible, we should try to get them back to their parents, really.
You can see his brother or sister up there.
Oh, yeah.
There's mum or dad over there.
With Marta the sheep gone, we were down a lot of milk, so I decided to go and get another milk sheep. This is a purebred Friesland sheep from a dairy sheep farm in Ireland. Her parents are directly from Holland, where this breed originates. She was part of a big herd of 200 and not used to close contact with humans or dogs at all. She was number 16 in her old flock. Yes, getting sheep number 19 would have been a way to mark this exceptional spring ruled by COVID restrictions, but she was not as pretty as 16. I decided to call our new sheep Tilda. She is a lovely, curious, sociable and clever sheep. I am sure she will settle very quickly and hopefully give us lots of milk.
Oh, Sean, Sean. Oh, poor Sean. Oh, no. Sean, what did you do, silly Sean?
Sean, our therapy sheep, was in bad need of a haircut. He had never been shorn before and kept on falling over with the heavy wool on his back.
Dear. We're going to do something about it now, all right? I'm going to get the shears. First haircut ever. All right?
He's only 1 year old and was not used to the shears at all, and was very twitchy and impatient. But we managed to get through the procedure with much patience. I usually don't lie the sheep on their backs when shearing, as I'm not very fast at it, and they would suffer too much being kept on their backs for too long. And with a bit of practicing, they usually get used to being sheared standing up very soon.
Oh, Sean. You feeling better now? Hope so. Yeah, I bet you do. Not so hot anymore. Look at all this wool. Oh my gosh. Lots and lots of wool. You must have been very hot.
obvious that the orphaned girl lamb has found her place amongst Harriet's lambs, who lets her drink as well now. Only the boy lamb is still very keen for his bottle. When he gets a chance, he hangs around the yard waiting for me to appear. He can run very fast across the field too when he spots me on the horizon. I wonder, was Tilda reared with the bottle too? She seems to know exactly what is going on and seems to want her share too.
Tilda.
We keep coming across these little newts. Lovely to see them, but in this hot weather they are better off back in the pond.
Let's check out Winnie, what those dogs are doing, eh? They're looking for the perfect wood chip again.
Our monthly updates wouldn't be the same without a mention of Trudy and Turnip. Forever searching for the perfect wood chip. Will they ever find it, I wonder?
Still looking.
May didn't just bring us icy night frosts, but also heavy winds and rain. Very beautiful to see all these shades of green. Of course, Flora was helpful too again with the harrow. And with the hot weather, she and the other horses get some extra minerals to make up after all that sweaty hard work. They don't seem to be able to lick quietly though. These dry summer days did wonders to our new little riding path around the fields. No more mud. And going for a spin on horseback across our own fields at the end of the day is one of the great pleasures of living here.